on this past Saturday night's main event, we got the big announcement of John Cena's final opponent tournament. It's the last time is now tournament. There's gonna be 16 people from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and the way they worded was people who don't even work in WWE. And it's all gonna start on November 10th, and the final match will be December 13th. So big, huge announcement at Saturday night's main event. So what do you think of just the announcement overall?
Yeah, I think this is probably the best way you can do it. You're going to get I think there'll be a lot of adjustment they'll be willing to do. They're going to see kind of probably who gets the best reaction on who they think is going to be the guy to go get seen in the last match. But yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, I think it's the best we can do it. It's going to have a lot of people involved, which is very nice. And the fact that there's potentially somebody from a different company who can show up and have a big match is pretty cool as well. Obviously, it'll probably be a TNA or AAA guy, but in the world that is not one of those guys, it would be pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, the big person that a lot of people are going to speculate on is going to be Edge. So we'll get that one out of the way first here. And obviously, I don't think it's going to happen. There's probably like a 1% chance that it could happen where Tony Khan is just like, look, I know, y'all have a big history. It'd be huge for you to have that moment and even for you to have that moment and then come back here and bring that momentum here. That could be good for AEW as well. And so there is like a 1% chance, but I mean, all likelihood, it is just not gonna happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think the only way that probably works out is if he's in between contracts right now. I don't know what his status is with his current or his former contract, but I think if there is a possibility where he is in between negotiating, I could see him being like, hey, let's stay away for like a few months. Let me go do something real quick, and I'll be right back. But yeah, Edge would be the one that I think would be the most shocking. But obviously, with how everything is, probably won't happen. But yeah, I think somebody who we could see that I think would be a big one is obviously me Gunther or an Obafemi, two guys who we're looking to see return somewhat soon. Oba, who's been gone since he's dropped the world title. Gunther, who's been gone since he dropped his world title to Punk. So there's those two big names who I think could be likely people in this tournament.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't know exactly what the format is going to be. It could be singles, it could be fatal four-way. It can't really be triple threat because the numbers just don't add up for 16 people with that. But I guess it'll probably be singles matches here, and it'll probably just be a few matches on each episode of Raw, SmackDown, NXT, potentially TNA. And I mean, that's the big thing going into this is that they are involving other companies such as potentially a TNA, AAA, maybe even Evolve or something like that. So it is pretty cool, to give them big moments like that. We've seen Joe Hendry at WrestleMania. We've seen Joe Hendry at Royal Rumble and a few other TNA talent, of course, as well as some AAA people as well. A AAA person actually had a match at WrestleMania versus Dom that kind of got added last minute. So they are, showing a lot of love to these companies. So it wouldn't surprise me too much to see people from TNA/AAA be part of this for sure.
Yeah, but then at Saturday night's main event, we had a little bit of like a vignette and like a promo package for this tournament, and we did see some names in this match, and those people we got shown were The Miz, Rusev, Solo Sikoa, Sheamus, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Penta, Carmelo Hayes, Bronson Reed, Gunther, and Dominic Mysterio. Now, obviously, they could just be putting people just to kind of give ideas, so you kind of get set up for something that we might get something else. So these could be the names that we could see. They all kind of have something to do right now, whether that be they have history with Cena, or there's somebody who's currently making a name for themselves, or is looking for that one big moment to kind of come back and kind of kickstart off something big for them going into the new year. So yeah, that is kind of the majority of the pool there. That's like 11 names, I believe. So I think hopefully we do see representation from obviously people outside of TNA or outside of WWE, but hopefully it's not just some randoms we kind of know aren't going to win. Where I think a Joe Hendry or even a Jeff Hardy could be really fun for a lot of people, especially Jeff Hardy. For me, I think would be a cool one just to see two of the biggest baby faces go at it for, I believe, the first time. I don't recall too many matches between Cena and Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, and it'd also be cool if they added just a straight up just TNA talents, people such as a Mike Santana, Santana and Leon Slater, their brand new world champion who just had this big long storyline going with the WWE and NXT to get that title back. And then obviously Leon, one of the best performers in TNA right now, and he's also their X Division champion. Would be very cool to see them in it. But I feel like the biggest name that's kind of been getting drug around a little bit, people who are talking the most about this person, is probably Dominic Mysterio right now. That's kind of the one that I'm seeing a whole lot of. I think there's a lot of cool ways you could do this. Something I kind of told you a while back was it'd be pretty cool if Dominic maybe lost it to Cena, and then in Cena's final match maybe it ended up being Sheamus, and that way Cena gets his Grand Slam champion, Sheamus could defeat him, win his Grand Slam champion, as well as hold that IC title going into Mania potentially. Obviously Sheamus would be a little bit of an underwhelming final opponent. You'd probably rather a Dominic, but I do think that'd be just a cool story to tell there, to get both of them their Grand Slams, and it probably would be a really good match between the two.
Yeah, I think if Dom is the man they choose to do, I think that is a pretty good pick. Obviously, he's been in a weird situation last year where he was coming off the back of a great year and was kind of floating around in a lot of that Liv and Rhea storyline, and was kind of the main character, but also kind of floated out of it as well. But now he's kind of picking it back up, going to AAA, doing big things over there, winning the AAA World Champion. So yeah, I think that would be a good pick. It gives him more stake for John Cena to win the match as well, getting that Intercontinental Champion for the first time. So I think that is a pretty good pick. But I think there's also picks like Penta for somebody who kind of really needs a big moment. He's had the cool moments this past year since debuting, but I think a big moment here against Cena would be pretty cool as well.
Yeah, but I also think another big one after what happened during that Saturday Night Main Event would be Drew McIntyre. He is somebody who I feel like really needs something right now. He's lost to Cody twice in a row now, one being not clean, of course, the one that just happened. But still, though, I feel like he's had like a pretty rough year booking wise after his fantastic 2024 with CM Punk. His 2025 didn't really match that in any feud that he's had this entire year, and it's nothing to do with his fault, really. He's done pretty good with everything that he's been given. Obviously, this Cody match stuff hasn't really been great, but there's kind of other things that's kind of surrounding that made it bad. But I do think Drew McIntyre being the one to defeat John Cena at the end could be really cool, and just something to kind of bring a spark back to him and bring some life into Drew McIntyre after everything that's happened this year.
Yeah, we mentioned NXT earlier while we mentioned Obafemi. Who do you think is some other people that we could see from NXT get represented in the tournament?
Yeah, I think the four main people is probably going to be Obafemi, Javon Evans, Ethan Page, and you could say Trick Williams, you could say Ricky Saints, but some collection of those people will probably be involved. I think the best person that I would like to see is probably just Obafemi. I think Obafemi versus Gunther finals would be amazing, even if Obafemi went all the way there just to lose to Gunther. It'll still be a big kind of feat for him to go there and be able to accomplish all that and get to the finals of this John Cena tournament where it's going to be stacked regardless. So I think that'd be very cool to see.
Yeah. But let's get to the thing what everybody's here for. Who is your person to go against John Cena in that final match?
I think, so obviously I'm going to go with two different ones. I think if you want the best option for, storyline reasons, for just everything about it, I think you just give it to Dom. I think Dom is the final match, and he could just lose the title at Cena's final match. Obviously, then he could retire. The belt will go vacant, and then Dom could go right back into the IC picture. He doesn't have to win it, but he could still be, in that conversation at the very least. But the other person is a person I mentioned just a minute ago, and that is Drew McIntyre. I do think that'd be amazing for him to get that and accomplish that. It'd be something to send him into that world title realm immediately. And I think going into WrestleMania, that'd be a huge spot for Drew McIntyre to become world champion around that time.
Yeah. For me, I think I'm between two people as well, and that is going to be Gunther. I think it's just the fact that obviously I am a Gunther fan, but also I think he has had a very interesting year, having to do a lot of the Jey Uso stuff, losing the belt to him, eventually picking it back up from him. But yeah, I do think Gunther would be a likely pick for this. Like we said, we haven't seen him for quite a while, so it'd be a good way to kind of bring him back. He's already retired Goldberg early in the year, so now retiring another legend in John Cena. and definitely give some validation going into the new year, potentially winning the Rumble as well. But a guy who I think will be my pick to win and go all the way is Carmelo Hayes. Since coming up to the main roster, he's had a few matches here and there. He had the great stuff with Andrade in that 7-match series. But besides that, he hasn't done too much of value. And I think getting the match with John Cena would be insane for him and potentially going to win that match as well. Him and Cena have that history with each other when they had that NXT match between Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes when John Cena kind of took the corner of Carmelo Hayes. So I do think that would be a very good pick and somebody to hopefully have a big 2026 after an underwhelming into 2025.
Yeah, that would definitely be a very cool pick to see Carmelo Hayes, such a young person, get that big kind of dominant spot, having a main event versus John Cena in his final match. And yeah, like you said, that would kind of catapult him into that main event picture. He's obviously ending this feud right now with The Miz, so story time and storylines are all kind of winding up for that to kind of match up for Carmelo Hayes. So hopefully he does get that shot.
But in John Cena's final match, the big question will not only be who will he go against, but will John Cena win or lose his final match?
Yeah, I think he probably will just lose. I don't think Cena would be the type of person to even want to win necessarily. I think he would want to help that final person and leave wrestling better going out than when he came in. He definitely seems like one of those kind of people.
Yeah, I think it depends on who he goes against. I think if there is somebody like a Dominic Mysterio where there's stakes for Cena to win, I do think Cena would go ahead and win the title. Also, than just to vacate, so you make Dom look strong. He can go into world title opportunities potentially, and you set up a new Intercontinental Champion tournament going into the new year. So I think depending on who it is probably gonna be the answer. But I do think Cena also will probably win, just in general, just to go out on a good note to end a crazy and amazing career.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely can't go wrong either way. But yeah, this is going to be a very exciting tournament, something to get excited for. Obviously, tournaments are always a very exciting thing in pro wrestling, whether it's AEW, WWE, or anywhere else. So yeah, I'm going to be very excited to get into these Raw, SmackDown, NXTs, TNAs, whatever it may be. But we appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.